This is Christian Gomez with the New American Magazine, and today we have with us William F. Jasper, who recently wrote an article for the New American Magazine entitled, "Son of Weather Underground Terrorists Running for San Francisco DA. Is Soros Funding Him?" Thank you for joining us today, Bill. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thank you, Christian.
So, it turns out we have a communist radical of sorts here, Chesa Boudin, running for DA in San Francisco. Tell us a little bit about his background and why we should be concerned about someone of his repertoire, so to speak, potentially being elected to that powerful position in San Francisco.
Well, yes, in a time when we have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Rashida Tlaib and other far left people coming to office in the House of Representatives, etc. Yes, there is someone who is even to the left of them, and that is Chesa Boudin, or Chesa Boudin. He's pronounced a number of different ways. A very important name from decades ago. Back in the 1970s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, his mother, his biological mother, Kathy Boudin, was one of the most infamous of the Weather Underground terrorists who set off bombs and carried out other terrorist acts, robberies, kidnappings, murder, particularly murder of law enforcement during that time period. So my article goes into not just his biological parents, Kathy Boudin and David Gilbert, who went to prison for their terrorist activities, but also his adopted parents who raised him, who were also Weather Underground terrorists, Bill Ayers and Bernadine Dohrn, two of the most infamous terrorists.
Now, for our audience watching out there that may not be familiar with the Weather Underground, can you just fill us in on who or what the Weather Underground terrorist organization was?
Yes, briefly, the Weather Underground split off of the SDS, the Students for Democratic Society, and they declared war on the United States with a formal declaration of war read to the world by Bernadine Dohrn, Chesa Boudin's adopted mother. She said, "We declare war against the United States, against America," and they spelled it with a K, meaning the KKK, America. And then they carried out a war of bombings all across the country. And one of the earliest ones occurred right there in San Francisco, where three of Chesa Boudin's parents were involved, or actually were caught with their fingerprints all over the bomb factory that killed police officer McDonald there in San Francisco. So now he's running to be the district attorney of a place where his parents had declared war and carried out war against the United States. So, and it should be pointed out that we're not in this article condemning Chesa Boudin for acts of his parents, but he has embraced their ideology.
So what exactly, can you tell us a little bit about Chesa Boudin's communist beliefs, sort of his own stances on Marxism, Leninism, and so forth? Does the apple fall far from the tree?
Well, absolutely not. In fact, he said all of my parents, meaning all four of his parents, his biological parents, Gilbert and Boudin, and his adopted parents, Ayers and Dohrn, he said all of my parents fought the war against U.S. imperialism. I'm committed to the same principles. So he characterizes their terrorism, their treason, siding with, his parents, their heroes were Fidel Castro, communist dictator, Ho Chi Minh, communist dictator of Vietnam, Mao Zedong, the communist dictator, mass murderer of China. And he says he believes in their same principles, and his whole life shows that he has. He's 39 years old now, and he has committed his life to their program. Among other things, he authored the San Francisco sanctuary policy, which refuses to turn over felons from San Francisco jurisdiction to federal authorities for deportation, as a result of which many illegal alien criminals have carried out criminal acts after being released, the most infamous one being the murder of Kate Stanley.
Now, Chesa Boudin has also traveled to Latin America to meet with radical communists there as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that too?
Yes, among other things, he journeyed to Venezuela, and to work with one of his heroes, Hugo Chavez, the late communist dictator of Venezuela, and he actually worked in the Miraflores Palace with Hugo Chavez. And his father, or adoptive father, Bill Ayers, also went down there to Caracas, Venezuela. And this former Weather Underground terrorist, who now is a teacher of a professor of education, spoke at Hugo Chavez's World Education Forum, praised their communist system there in Venezuela. And Chesa Boudin has done the same. So again, we see that there is a long time affinity with them. And this goes clear back 3 generations, because his grandfather, Leonard Boudin, the infamous Communist Party attorney who represented Fidel Castro for 3 decades as his legal counsel, is Chesa Boudin's grandfather. And he grew up under his tutelage as well.